Okay, YouTube, Long Island Barbers Lounge back with another video and review of a clipper that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Some of you may not be, but the Stylecraft Instinct. Now, I didn't want to one-cut chuck this review, so I took my time, got a lot of cuts under the belt with these, and with them dropping other versions, I feel like this review was due. But before we get into it, I always give you the bottom line first. What do I think of this clipper? I think it's the best cordless clipper on the market, point blank. Period, no matter which version you get. Before we get into it, also understand that I'm not a brand ambassador for any clipper, any company, ever, and never will be. Any reviews I give are just for the better of the industry and knowledge to pass along to other barbers in the game. So, now, let's get into the clipper itself. I always like to get into the price right away. Price of this clipper at the time of this video is $209.95 on Amazon. Now, accessories. What does it come with? It comes with the charging stand, a 9-foot cord. Cord can plug directly into the clipper, or it does come with a micro USB cord, which you can charge in the port right there. Comes with a full set of magnetic dub guards. These are the dub guards from Stylecraft. They're all color-coded, but the colors will probably wear off. Magnets hold well, made out of quality plastic, not some flimsy, cheap plastic that's going to bend as soon as you put any amount of pressure on somebody's head and create lines. Goes with the different face plates. The stretch bracket gives you a little more stretch when you slide the blade back. And then this would go back here and slide it back even farther. Now, why do they do that? If you ask me, the reason why they do this is because they're always trying to cover every option that you could ever want. And one difference with the Andis and the Wall back in the day was that the Andis slid back farther than the Wall, kind of giving you almost a really short one clip without putting on a one clip. So if you ask me, that's why they have that stretch bracket. Some of the small accessories, like screwdrivers, comes with multiple levers. If you don't like the click, 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 then you could do the freestyle, which would be more like a Wall. Slider bracket that moves the cutting blade back and forth. They included this because sometimes when the plastic wears out, it can get noisy. Now, the blade it comes with the Vapor blade. Vapor blade is like a hybrid of a taper blade and a fade blade, and it's supposed to give you the best of both worlds. Now, my issue that I had with this, the blade itself was fine, but the only issue I had was that this was grabbing pores, as you can see in this video right here. That's me giving myself a cut, and the Vapor blade grabbing the pores. Now, I'm not going to say that's unique to Stylecraft because I had courted Wall seniors that did it, and some of them didn't with the fade blade. So sometimes it's just the luck of the draw, however the blade comes from the factory. So I got the fade blade for it, which I love, and it hasn't been grabbing pores, and the machine's been performing even better for me. So now we talked about the stationary blade. Now let's talk about the moving blade, the cutting blade right here. This blade, if you guys can see it, this is the deep, slim blade. And the purpose of this is, you see how it's curved and beveled? The purpose of this design is to keep the cutting blade flush to the skin and give it a more even cut, a smoother cut, a crunchy cut, and less drag. This is different from more of the traditional clippers that have more of a triangular cutting blade, as you can see here on the Master, and as you can see right here on the Baby List. There's no curve to that blade, it's just a triangle. Now, the stationary blade and the cutting blade are both coated in DLC, diamond-like carbon. This coating, like all coatings, pretty much has three purposes. One, to keep your blades cool while they're operating. Two, to keep them sharper for long periods of time. And three, rust preventative, to stop them from rusting. So that covers the blades on the Instinct OG. Now we'll talk about runtime. Runtime's 4 hours. Now the motor RPM. The motor RPM goes up to 11,500. I'll show you something I'm sure you've seen before. But the intuitive vector motor. As it detects a heavy bulk of hair, the clipper won't drag, it'll pick up speed. So I'll grab the blades like everybody else does, you can hear it. There you go. And since we heard the motor, let's talk about sound and loudness and compare it. Now this has a nice hum to it and not like a rattle you hear in some other clippers. So we're going to compare this down the line. Figure that's about 74, 75 compared to the Babyliss. Just a touch quieter, but this will vary as they get older. But this is the Rattlesnake right here. Horrible. This is just sounds like a dead motor, man. I don't even mess with the cordless walls anymore. And it's compared to the I'm starting problems. T-Pow is very quiet. Since we just got to look at all those clippers, let's compare the size of the Instinct to some of clippers you may or may not be familiar with. Babyliss Pro FX is huge compared to the Instinct. Cordless Master is bigger. Wall Senior, a little bit bigger too. T-Pop XO, way bigger. So let's just keep it rolling and let's weigh them for everybody out there. Some people like a heavyweight clipper, some people like a lightweight clipper. 7.5 ounces, 13.5 ounces, 13.3 ounces, 13.2 ounces, 12.1. So that's how it stacks up. And you see it's got an ergonomic shape. It's very lightweight. I'm a big fan of it. You might have to switch it out to the fade blade if you have a grabbing pores, or maybe just buy another stationary blade and swap it out. But other than that, big fan of this clipper. And we'll move on to the trimmer. So before we run into the specs, bottom line is I feel like I see a lot of people use the trimmer more than the clipper. And maybe that's because the clipper was grabbing a lot of pores, but I've seen this liner grab pores also on other people's liners, but mine has been performing out of the box, banging. Got zero complaints with this. So the specs, the trimmer at the time of this video is at the same price on Amazon, $209.95. Accessories that it comes with, not to be too redundant, but it comes with the charging stand, a 9-foot cord, comes with the USB. You can charge it for the regular cord or the USB right there in the back. Screwdriver, different face plates to show the motor cutout, and comes with the zero gapper tool. Now this is an older one. They're coming with the one that says aggressive and soft. Okay, so now let's talk about the blades that come with the trimmer. Now on the Instinct, it comes with the X Pro wide blade. Now this is wide like a traditional liner, kind of like the Andis T outliner. Comes out wide over here too. This helps you cover more surface and also helps you go around the ears when cutting. Teeth on here are pretty deep. That helps feed more hair into it. Now we'll flip that over to the cutting blade. Once again, this is called the one cutting blade. Now this has this beveled slope right here, which is a little different from traditional liners. So it's more of a triangular and doesn't have that slope. Now the purpose of this, same thing with the clipper, is to be closer to the root of the hair. We're cutting it and giving it a quick chop, feeding more hair into it, giving a smooth and crunchy cut and never dragging. That's the purpose of the one cutting blade. And just like the clipper, both of these blades are coated in DLC. It's a diamond-like carbon with those three purposes. I'll say it again. to keep your blades running cool, to keep them sharp and rust-free. Runtime's 4 hours, and we'll run through the specs real quick. The motor, 9,500 RPMs to the vector motor. Speeds up if it hits any drag, which is great for a liner, especially when you're doing a fade. Okay, so you're probably wondering, if they both have the same vector motor, why are they different RPMs? Well, I looked into that as well and got the answer for you guys. And the answer is that while they have the same motor, they're used for different purposes. So the logic board, that green motherboard inside, adjusts the RPM because the liner is more used for detailing, designs, and precision cutting. So you don't need 11,005 RPMs. This is more fine-tuned to get the best results from a trimmer. Now, you have to think of it like this. Think of this as a chainsaw and this is an edger. They both have the same motor, which is great because they're going to get the job done. But you're not going to use a chainsaw to edge a bush, pretty much. So that's the reason why there's a different RPM between the clipper and the trimmer. Same motor, just adjusted electronically for the purpose of the tool. '83. I didn't think this was louder than the clipper, but I guess it is. And it's GTX. Babyless is the worst with that rattle. Can't forget T-Pop Mob. We'll run through the weight real quick. 6.5, 7.8, 8.3, 8. So it's the lightest one out of the common trimmers that you'll get. Same ergonomic shape. We'll see how the size stacks up. It's not that big of a difference. Let's open them up and take a look, see what they look like inside real quick. So it's like they used a magnetic motor and enhanced it with something else. And you got the microchip, and that is the Instinct. Seems like with that skeleton design, the hair doesn't get in here as much. So they're like virtually the same inside. And that's the Instinct. I don't know what they did with this motor, how they enhanced it, mixed it, looks like a magnetic motor, but great job. Looking forward to seeing what else they bring in the future. That's it for this. Till the next time, the next review.